Last time, as you remember, our heroes had just finished the spring roundup on their worm ranch.
That's spring wound-up.
The word is roundup.
What do you do with the spring?
Well, you wind it up and... had just finished the spring wound-up, and we're ready to start the annual Tag Day.
Tag Day?
Every one of them little critters has got to be marked with a lazy J.
What for? What for?
So nobody will steal them.
Steal them?
You mean there's such a thing as worm rustlers?
That's right.
Oh, come on. Who'd be mean enough to do a thing like that?
Hoot, man, allow me to introduce myself.
Great gobs of goo, Rocky. Will you look at that?
A cowboy wearing kilts.
Aye, laddie, I'm world's only Scotch cowboy. Call me Black Angus. This is my sidekick, Natasha McTavish.
She's Scotch, too.
Just half Scotch.
What's the other half?
Soda, darling.
We come to sign on his cow hands.
Angus here is champion bull thrower.
Thanks anyway, but we don't raise cows. We raise worms.
Worms?
All kinds. Hook, tape, cut, flat, angle, and measuring.
And today is Tag Day.
We gotta label each and every critter with a lazy J label.
Boris, darling, they're putting us on, no?
Could be, Natasha, but let's play it cool. Oh, laddie, could my partner and I watch the operation?
Be my guest.
And our heroes started the weary task of slapping a label on every single worm.
And quite a few married ones.
Hold it, Bullwinkle. That one's a caterpillar.
Oh, I thought he was wearing a raccoon coat.
Boris, they're not kidding. They raise worms.
Taking over this ranch should be easy, Natasha. An idiot could do it.
And you're just the man for the job. But tell me, why do we want a worm ranch?
You forgot Plato already?
No, but everybody else has.
Okay. Flashing back as is our custom, you'll remember we put analyzer on Rock from Lazy J Ranch.
And hit jackpot. Boris, what's that stuff?
Who cares? If it's that hard to say, it must be worth plenty. And so that is why we're going to take Ranch away from Squirrel and Moose.
But how?
Easy. We drive her to market for them.
We become ranchers?
Sure. Monkey ranchers.
You mean?
Of course. If I lose whole herd, they go broke. Sell cheap.
And thus it was a short time later that Black Angus was made trail boss and put in charge of taking the herd to market.
But where is the market?
His big fishing resort right here.
But that's 50 miles away.
How you gonna drive a herd of worms 50 miles?
Easy, I got big whip.
One thing, Mr. Black Angus.
Call me Blackie, laddie.
You said your partner, Miss McTavish, was Scotch.
Aye?
Then how come she's wearing those expensive earrings and bracelets?
Yeah, doesn't look very Scotch to me either.
Not so loud, ladies. She might hear you.
Secrets, huh?
We don't like to mention it, but she's the only spendthrift in the whole family.
Big plunger, huh?
Spends money like water.
I haven't spent any water lately.
You mean Miss McTavish is a spendthrift Scotch?
Of course, that's how she got her nickname.
What's that?
Lavish McTavish.
I should have known.
And so a little while later, our heroes were on the trail, beating the ground with sticks to keep the underground worm herd on the move. Little did they know that their trail boss, Boris, was leading them right to the edge of a steep cliff and certain doom for the whole herd. Don't miss our next episode, Aches and Plains or the Old Chisholm Trail.
It was once spoken that,
gratitude is a quality not limited to man.
though just why it was spoken, no one has ever been quite certain. For at the time of the saying, there lived a poor slave named Androcles.
My friends call me Andy.
However, he was seldom called Andy because
I don't have any friends.
Androcles was owned by a wealthy merchant who treated him cruelly and forced him to work very hard. From morning till night he did the cooking, made the bed, scrubbed the floors, and mended his master's torn togas. And for the tiniest little mistake, he was punished severely.
Hold still, master. There's a fly on your nose.
Don't hit him with that, you idiot. You'll hurt me. Get the fly spray.
Yes, master. Got him.
All right, that did it. Now you know what's going to happen to you.
No, master. Not that.
Ah, but the merchant showed him no mercy. He made him stand in the corner for 2 hours. Time after time, Androcles tried to please his master and win his gratitude, but never with any success.
Come, master. I have prepared a nice hot bath for you.
Well, how nice. Oh!
Was the water a tiny bit too hot for master?
And, of course, he was again severely punished.
I can't stand another minute of this inhuman punishment. I'll run away, and I'll search the world for someone who will give me gratitude for what I do.
And so he did. For that very night, as his master lay sleeping, he stole out of the house and scurried away into the darkness. The next morning, Androcles was deep in the forest where he was certain his master would never find him. He was walking along his merry way when suddenly a voice called to him from a dense thicket.
Oh there, stranger.
Ho yourself. Who speaks?
It is I.
Androcles found himself face to face with the biggest, fiercest-looking lion he had ever seen. He was terrified and turned on his heels to flee and would have gotten away but for a huge tree that slightly blocked his path. Certain that the lion was upon him, he looked over his shoulder but noticed that the beast was simply lying there, moaning and whimpering piteously.
What seems to be the trouble?
I have a vicious thorn in my paw, and it hurts me terribly. Please have pity. Pull it out for me.
Are you kidding? If I got that close to you, you'd grab me and eat me up.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Honest Injun. Remove the thorn. I will be your friend for life.
The poor beast's pleadings were so convincing and he seemed so sincere that Androcles decided to take a chance.
Careful now, careful.
Hold still.
Oh!
The lion was overjoyed with relief and thanked Androcles profusely.
You know, I really feel he's grateful.
Oh, I am grateful.
Androcles was very pleased, for he had finally earned gratitude for something he had done. He bid the lion farewell and went on his way. Several days later, however, fate struck Androcles a cruel blow, for he was captured by soldiers and taken to the city and thrown into the dungeon. It was there that he learned that he was to be used in the circus.
Being in the circus isn't too bad. I mean, maybe they'll let me be a clown.
It isn't that kind of a circus, friend. They're gonna throw you to the lion.
This is sure gonna ruin my summer.
The following day, the stands were filled, and the emperor and all his court came to view the spectacle. A hush fell over the arena. Androcles trembled. The signal was given. The steel door creaked open, and with a mighty roar, a gigantic, ferocious lion bounded into the arena. The beast had been kept without food for several weeks to make him even more fierce, and he shook his great head with rage. The quaking Androcles prepared to meet his fate when, suddenly, he recognized the lion as the same one from which he'd removed the thorn. A wave of relief swept over him as he shouted,
Leo, wait, it's me, Andy. Do you remember me?
Yeah. You took the thorn out of my paw.
Right. And you were grateful because I did you a favor, so now you won't eat me.
I sure am hungry.
I know, but you still won't eat me. I'm your friend.
They didn't feed me for 2 weeks.
But you still won't eat me, will you? Will you?
Lion, 1. Androcles.
Oh, dear. So as you can plainly see, dear friends, the moral to this story is that if you ever do a favor for a great beast with long teeth and sharp claws, and he tells you that he will be forever grateful, don't you believe him. Because you can just bet your boots that he's a lion.
last time, you remember, marked the start of the big underground roundup as our heroes start to drive their herd of angleworms to the nearest fishing resort 50 miles away. Rocky thumped on the ground to keep the herd moving while Bullwinkle used his own mine detector to round up strays. But unbeknownst to our friends, their trail boss, the world's only Scotch cowboy,
Black Angus at your service.
was in reality Boris Badenov, their old nemesis.
Why is you never hear of young nemesis?
Boris, of course, was determined to ruin Rocky and Bullwinkle.
But Boris, darling, how you're going to do it?
His lead pipe cinch, Natasha. I lead herd over this cliff. No worms, no money, no wrench.
Then we move in. Take it off their hands for nothing.
Well, the price is right.
Oh, Boris, you such a well-trained villain.
Why not? I'm old university grad.
What university?
SC.
Southern California?
No, scoundrels and crooks.
Oh.
Magna cum laude.
Unaware of Boris's fiendish aims, Rocky and Bullwinkle continued driving the herd toward the cliff.
Get along there, herd. What's so funny, Bullwinkle?
I was thinking how silly it'd be if anybody was watching us on television.
Yeah, no fear of that.
They wouldn't have the faintest idea what we were doing.
Yeah, but on the other hand...
What?
Do they ever?
I see what you mean.
It was at that moment that the first of the herd wiggled out from the face of the cliff and dropped into space.
Boris, your plan is actually working.
What do you think you're dealing with? Kids or something?
But at last, Rocky began to catch on.
Hey, isn't that the edge of a cliff up there?
You're right. The whole herd must be going over. Come on.
Boris, here they come. How you're going to explain this?
Watch. Oh, laddie, the wee bairns didn't pay attention to my directions.
If the herd's gone over the cliff, we're ruined.
And they would have been if luck hadn't smiled on our heroes.
Again?
Yes, it seems that there was a very strong strain of silkworm in the Lazy J herd, and by the time they had fallen halfway, each tiny creature had spun itself a small parachute.
Why, them smart little rascals.
Yes, our heroes had been spared by a rare stroke of fortune.
Them she strokes. Me she gives a belt in the mouth.
Not only that, but by gathering up the discarded shoots at the bottom of the cliff, our friends found themselves with a stock of 40,000 silk handkerchiefs.
How thoughty. Takes care of our Christmas shopping for next year, too.
Come on, Mr. Angus, Hey, where'd he go?
Here's a note pinned to this rock.
I'll tack the high road, and you tack the low road. Signed Black Angus.
What's that mean?
It's Scotch dialect for I quit.
But not far away, the two villains were still plotting our hero's downfall.
Well, you failed again, Boris.
Time to check Fireside Crook book. And, oh boy, why didn't I think of this before?
Because you stupid. Pretty funny, eh, darling?
Natasha, double-cross me, I understand. Stab me in the back, it's just business. But tap me in jokes, you're dead pigeon.
Sorry, darling. What is plan?
Anything I can't stand it. Smart, Alex, straight woman.
Yes, Boris.
Remember who is star of this show.
Yes, Boris.
Remember who is #1 big shot.
Yes, Boris.
Remember who puts bread in your mouth.
Sponsor.
You said it. Now, here's my plan, darling.
Oh, darling. Not.
And on hearing the plans, even the cold-blooded Natasha fainted dead away. Well, what terrible thing does Boris have in mind for our friends?
I'm afraid to say it out loud.
Why?
I'm afraid I'll faint myself.
We'll find out next time in Bucket-Headed Bullwinkle or Pale-Face Moose.
Hi there, sports fans. Time to... wrong script. Hello, poetry lovers. Time for another bout with the bards. Today featuring that famous recipe in rhyme, patty cake. Patty cake, baker's man.
Hold it, Bullwinkle.
What's up?
That's a chocolate cream cake you got.
So?
You know what happens when you pat a chocolate cream cake?
No. What happens?
That happens.
It's sort of flat, don't it?
Now what?
Well, the recipe says I roll it and pat it and mark it with a B and put it in the oven for baby and me.
You're gonna give that to a baby?
What's a patty cake taste like, Brock?
Sort of like chocolate cream pizza.
Yeah. Well. Hi there, sports fans. Time to...
Hello out there, Peabody here. Tell me, Sherman, in what sport is the term putt utilized?
Motorboat racing.
Motorboat racing?
Sure. You know, putt, 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 putt.
In 1870, the world's first golf match was played, and today Sherman, his outboard motor, and I will not only witness this historic event, but will participate in it. Set the way back for St. Andrews, Scotland, Sherman.
Putt, 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 putt,
I set the way back controls myself, and in a matter of seconds we were standing on Scotland's only golf course. Two gentlemen were in the midst of teeing off.
That's your 30th stroke, Angus, and you've yet to tee off.
Oh, I'm teed off all right.
How can that man expect to play golf, Mr. Peabody? His hands are all bandaged.
Pardon me, sir, but have you had an accident?
That was no accident. McSnide here sent me flowers.
Then you go blaming me for catching poison ivy.
It's a grudge match we're playing. If McSnide wins, then Scotland has to play the game of golf, according to McSnide's rules.
That's 51 strokes.
We can't let him get away with that, Mr. Peabody.
Sherman was right. I substituted for the ailing Angus and prepared to tee off with a deficit of 51 strokes.
You'd best be wary, Mr. Peabody. McSnide is a tricky rascal.
A gross understatement, for while I was taking a practice swing, McSnide replaced my round ball with a square one. I drove exactly 250
Yards?
inches. Fortunately, McSnide's clubs were as crooked as he, and he drove his first into the rough.
Good luck to you, and watch McSnide.
This wasn't easy to do, for I had my hands full trying to approach the green. Hacking my way up the fairway, I looked more like a frustrated dice player than a golfer. While I was so engaged, McSnide used the rough to good advantage.
I'm taking no chances, McPherson. Go to the 9th hole and build a trap so that just in case my opponent gets lucky, he'll fall in and forfeit the match.
Hey, McSnide, I'll build the deepest trap you ever saw.
I finished the first hole with a bogey 84. McSnide was 3 under par.
Give up?
A Peabody never gives up. Sherman, I'll use a round ball from now on. The second hole was 400 yards away, and due to a sudden shifting of the wind, my drive fell short of the cup, 3 feet short.
Hoot, mon, that's the longest drive I've ever seen.
You think that was long? Wait till the next hole.
By the time we reached the 9th green, I was practically even with McSnide. The 9th, you'll recall, was the green McPherson had booby-trapped.
You putt first, Peabody, and lots of luck. He'll step on that green and fall halfway to China.
I stepped on the green all right and promptly putted my ball into the cup.
What a shot, Mr. Peabody. One more like that and you'll be in front.
We left the green and approached the 10th tee. McSnide stayed behind.
I cannot understand it. I told McPherson to dig a trap under this green. And if there's anything I can't stand, it's a man who disobeys orders. Wait till I see that McPherson. I'll give him a piece of my mind.
It wasn't until the 18th hole that McSnide caught up with us.
Where have you been, Mr. McSnide?
I had to replace a divot. What's the score?
Mr. Peabody is 20 under par.
Oh?
How are you doing?
I've had troubles, lad. I'm only 30 under par.
He's still in front of you, Mr. Peabody, with only this hole left to play. What are you going to do?
Beat him, of course. Hand me my number 1 wood. It was then that Sherman discovered we were short on clubs.
Somebody swiped everything but the putter.
Looks like you'll have to forfeit.
Not as long as I have a putter.
You can't putt here, Mr. Peabody. There's a lake that sits in front of the green.
This will require timing. I studied the grass carefully.
Shoot, man, shoot, or else you lose.
I shot. The ball rolled gently down the fairway, hit a rock, bounded into the air, landed on a duck's back. The duck took off across the lake, became airborne, and while directly over the green, lost the ball. And, of course, as I had figured, the ball fell exactly into the very center of the cup.
You did it, Mr. Peabody. You win. Doesn't he, Mr. McSnide?
McSnide was in no condition to answer.
The only thing I don't understand is why Mr. McSnide wanted to change the rules of golf.
Well, you see, McSnide objected to the use of a golf ball.
What did he expect to play with?
Potatoes. He owned a potato farm and hoped to make a fortune selling them to golfers.
But who ever heard of hitting a potato with a golf club?
Oh, come now, Sherman. Surely you've heard of mashy potatoes? Pass the gravy.
Hey, kids, today's the day we find out what fiendish fiendish plan Boris Badenov is going to try on our heroes next.
That's what you think, buddy.
But you have to tell us.
Who says?
Well, it's in the script. Look here, see?
Phooey! That's what I think of script. Nobody tells Boris Badenov what to do.
Oh, dear. Meanwhile, our heroes, Rocky and Bullwinkle...
Hokey Smoke, are we on?
You're a page and a half ahead, fella.
Well, I know, but the script got torn up.
Uh-oh.
Meanwhile, our heroes are nearing the fishing resort of Angel's Cramp with their underground herd of fishing worms.
Hokey Smoke, I hope we make it, Bullwinkle.
That's my line.
Sorry, Rock, I'm still a little confused.
Meanwhile, at the big fishing resort...
That's my line.
Sorry.
Oh, dear.
Maybe we ought to take it from the top again.
Meanwhile, at the mountain fishing resort of Angel's Cramp, a serious situation had developed.
Finlayson, where are you?
I'm in the dark room, Mr. Penworthy.
The dark room? What are you doing?
I'm developing our serious situation.
And what is our serious situation?
No bait.
It was true. At that moment, the fishing resort was besieged by anglers from all over the country, and there wasn't a bit of bait to be found.
Unless we get some bait, we're ruined.
I'd pay $1 apiece for fishing worms.
Did you hear that, Rocky?
Course not, Bullwinkle. That fishing resort is 5 miles away.
I could swear it was right over here.
Bullwinkle!
Oh, all right.
You know, something tells me our herd of worms may be worth $1 apiece.
No kidding! Then we had best get a wiggle on. Worm-wise, that is.
Everybody up! Let's go!
Hit 'em up, move 'em out. Hit 'em up, move 'em out. Medium rare hide.
Medium rare hide.
I can't stand it raw.
Now, through the medium of a long-distance lens, let's see what Boris and Natasha are up to.
Boris, you are doing jigsaw puzzle?
No, putting script back together to find out what is fiendish plan we're going to... Oh,
You got it, darling.
you said it. We're going to scare them to death. Look here.
And Boris whipped out his copy of Disguises for All Occasions.
He's in here somewhere, listed alphabetically, probably. Let's see. Admiral disguise, Easter Bunny disguise, Uncle Sam disguise, villain disguise.
Boris, that's what you're wearing now.
Of course. You don't think I really look like this? Aha, here we are.
Oh, that's terrible. What's that?
Right.
No, darling, I asked, what's that?
That's it, Natasha. This is disguise of mysterious monster called what's that? Quick, hand me my kit.
We're going to make up all the way?
You said it. The sky's the limit.
And the two no-goodniks ducked behind a nearby rock. A few moments later, a horrendous monster emerged and started toward Rocky and Bullwinkle, who, all unaware of their impending danger, were driving their herd of worms nearer to their destination.
Angel's Cramp, 2 miles.
Boy, am I glad. With all this here walking, a fella could get saddle sores on his feet.
Well, come on. We just have to drive our herd through that pass and we're finished.
But Rocky and Bullwinkle were finished sooner than that, for as they approached the narrow gorge...
Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo!
Good heavens! What's that?
And frightened out of their wits, our heroes dashed away, leaving the whole underground herd to the mercy of the wily What's That?
Or as we know him, Boris Badenov.
Don't miss our next episode, Make Believe Monster, or Once Upon a Crime.